Hey guys, I guess we will talk about Grand Caliber. Will Grand Caliber be able to survive? And Grand Caliber obviously is getting heat. Jimmy is, at the very least, very responsive on Reddit. If you ever tag him, he seems to respond relatively quickly, and that is good. And Jimmy's response makes a lot of sense to me. I don't have any loyalty to Grand Caliber at all. It is interesting to see that him and Marco, they are employees, W-2 employees, and they have equity tied to achievement. So again, if they don't have that achievement or that milestone, it doesn't seem that they get equity. Now, the good times have ended, and as Jimmy mentioned, there were a lot of things to address, and hopefully Grand Caliber has addressed those things. There was the issue from 2021 regarding the Facebook group. We did reimburse individuals as we believed it was the right thing to do. As part of cleaning up the business, we made sure consignors were paid, sales taxes was filed, and we are still addressing matters stemming from the previous ownership group. Both Marco and I are not independent contractors. We are employed by Grand Caliber with equity tied to certain business achievements. Given the various areas of the business needed to address, we thought it best to resolve these matters before receiving our equity. These performance targets were agreed upon with all parties involved. The majority of our employees are W-2 employees, with only 3 exceptions. Yes, there are employment agreements in place. These aren't verbal agreements based on a vibe check. As for Anthony, we parted ways in summer of 2022 beyond a brief one-time conversation about overdue bill. I personally haven't spoken to Anthony since August of 2022. I'm unsure why we keep getting brought back into discussions involving Anthony. So I'll answer that question for Jimmy is because Grand Caliber used to be the Timepiece Gentleman, which used to be Anthony. I really think that it is time to just start anew. I mean, it looks like they had a lot of payback issues. They were reimbursing the Facebook group at $2,000 a pop, and there was anywhere between 200 to 400 of them. It's unclear exactly how many of them there were, but it seemed like there was about 200, maybe more. That's a lot of money to pay out. 200 times 2,000 is not that is not a small amount of money, in my opinion. And the sales tax, again, if it's sales tax in Houston is 8.25%. If that was 8.25%, or something like in Dallas, I assume it's something similar, then it could be a lot of money. If you're talking, this is a $50 million revenue company, you're talking 8% on that. That's a lot of money that has to be paid back. I am not entirely sure why they decided to create a new company, but based on the old company, I would have just thought, hey, why don't we just create a brand new company, a brand new entity, and we don't have to deal. I mean, yes, I feel bad for the Facebook group. It would suck to put $2,000 into it, but it's really, in my opinion, not the new company's responsibility of new investors. That was something that Anthony did with Marco. And I don't understand why they didn't drop Marco. Like, what was so valuable in this company outside of a YouTube channel that, like, even the inventory and assets, right, liquidate them all and just go to zero? Again, I am not positive what was so valuable about Timepiece Gentleman that they had to continue with it. The brand was not bad, and obviously they were always going to be reconnected with. There's a small scenario where I could maybe see it if the YouTube channel was still popping and they're still getting 100,000 plus views. Yeah, I could see it. You're basically buying a YouTube channel and some social media, but it's not. They haven't posted a video in some time. The sales dude is gone. It doesn't seem. It seems like it's a sinking ship, but it's sinking less fast than the TPG Los Angeles branch is sinking. It's kind of hard to sink that fast, in my opinion. I'm not positive, why you keep the company. This has been kind of the biggest mystery for me. Like, if things are so bad and you have to clean up so much stuff, why don't you just declare bankruptcy, start over again, and it wouldn't affect any of you? And then you have a new team, new leadership, and everything. And people are like, oh, it's the same team members. Yeah, that you can do that. You can do that. But at least you wouldn't have the obligations in sales tax, Facebook group. You would give that all to Anthony and let him handle it. And I think this kind of prolonged. So in theory, this prolonged Anthony's ability to run Los Angeles. Not only did he get paid, according to him, quite a bit of money, he also got to also the liability left. He also didn't have as much liability as he would have had normally, and this definitely would have influenced, in my personal opinion, this would definitely have influenced the ability to run his business in Los Angeles. If he had this debt and these obligations, he had all these angry Facebook people who want their money back, I don't think the Los Angeles penthouse thing becomes a reality because he's thinking, oh, I need to pay back these obligations. And in many ways, Grand Caliber is largely responsible for Anthony's tactics in Los Angeles, because if the debt and the sales tax, if all that stuff was put on Anthony, which it should be, that's the company. TPG is the company, right? Grand Caliber is not TPG. And Jimmy is always asking, why does Grand Caliber need to be brought in for TPG all the time? And the answer is quite simple. It's because it's the same company. Right? At one time, Grand Caliber was TPG. At one time, the Grand Caliber YouTube channel, which is their main social media, was the TPG channel. You can delete the videos, you can change the name, but at the end of the day, all these subscribers came to watch from TPG. So that's the reason. There's no other explanation to it. Like, it's like if I change this channel to someone else's channel, then people will be like, oh, well, why are we subscribed to this guy? We were subscribed to another guy before. It'd be weird, right? I don't know. I think it would be kind of weird, in my personal opinion. But again, Grand Caliber, very fascinating to see how they deal with the fallout. I just think that it would have been a lot easier and less headaches, and perhaps even neutralized. Again, you can't always predict the future, but I would assume that if you had 200 angry Facebook people wanting their money back, you had sales tax to deal with, another legal issue to deal with, that Anthony would, his run rate of business and his that would be much less than it was before. There's no way he can do a penthouse where he's got to pay back $400K in Facebook, another 400K in sales taxes, maybe, depending on what they make. Actually, you know what? It might have been sales tax over multiple years. That would be quite devastating, in my opinion. So I don't know. A lot of unknowns, very little that is known. And what is known, in my personal opinion, is just that, hey, Grand Caliber did Anthony a solid, and I don't know why. Bye, guys.